Hi there, I'm Bev of Bev's Bells, and today we're going to be doing an EMOM workout with kettlebells and a body weight only exercise. EMOM is every minute on the minute. That's the format. So you have 1 minute to complete the set number of swings in this case, and then the second minute you will have the same amount of time in order to complete a set number of, in this case, I'm going to be using push-ups. So very simple. You don't really need a whiteboard for this. You need a kettlebell and you need potentially something underneath your wrists if your wrists are sensitive, like one of these pillows here, or even a wedge so that it reduces the stress on your wrists. And we are going to include a short warm-up as well today, body weight only. So I'm going to just start with the neck and do some neck movement just to warm up my neck. We'll continue on with the shoulders, so just looking up and down, and then we're going to go left and right, looking left and right, just warming things up. Some neck sweeps, so chin sweeping left and right, and a little bit of a stretch, so looking straight ahead, hand on the side of your head, stretch your arm out. You should feel it all along the side here of your neck, the sternocleidomastoid. Big word for that big muscle that goes along the neck here. And then the other side. And then we'll do one for the back as well, for the cervical spine. So here, take your hands behind your head and just chin tucked and press gently down, just stretching the back here. Do some big arm sweeps for the shoulder, nice big figure 8. And then reverse. And then the other side, just warming up the big muscles, the big joints. We want to have that good range of motion, so give yourself a hug, right? Open up, give yourself a hug. And then we're going to grab a band, just for a little bit more range of motion with the shoulders, and then getting into our obliques a bit. So doing some big arm sweeps, so shoulder width apart, maybe a bit wider, and then up and over, shave the back. Up and over, just warming up. Pinch the shoulder blades together as you come back. Warming up your scapular, especially for when we're doing our push-ups. You want to engage those big mid back muscles. One more, and then we're going to do something just for the obliques, stirring the pot. So up straight ahead, and pushing that shoulder into the back pocket, leaning over, glutes are tight, belly button's pulled in. We're just going to stir the pot in one direction, like this, and then the other direction, and stand tall, and we'll move to the other side, so shoulder down, keeping the overhead arm nice and stationary, and just stirring the pot with the other arm, and then reverse. Using your obliques and your lats to pull yourself up. And now we're just going to grab a block for just in a minute. We're going to do something for our ankles. For now, let's just do our hip flexors and hamstrings and quads. So half kneeling, and you're just going to press forward for the hip flexor. And if you want a bit more of a stretch, you can also dip your fingers down. If you can't reach the floor, grab your block, dip your finger down and side stretch. You'll even feel it more in your hip flexor. And then swing back and do your hamstring quad is just basically, you're just doing a pelvic tilt under as you're half kneeling, and then you'll feel the stretch in the quad. Then when you lean forward, you hit the hip flexor. Again, a little bit bend, side bend, reach to the side there, and pushing back. We'll do that one more time on this side. So quad, so nice tilt, pelvic tilt under, so posterior tilt, stretch out the quad, then leaning forward for the hip flexor and the back leg, and bending to the side for a bit more of a stretch. And back. Hamstring on the lead leg. Nice flat back. Tailbone towards the opposite wall. And then we're going to just do a little bit for our thoracic spine as well. So hand to ear or side of the head, elbow facing the ceiling. So breathing in, breathing out, elbow to instep. And then repeat. You want to do a nice twist. Your thoracic spine is warming up. Flexion and extension, side flexion and extension. There we go. One more of those. And then we'll switch sides. So do the whole thing on the other side now. So quad, pelvic tilt under, press forward, press the hip forward. You'll get a nice stretch here. And then lean forward, get that hip flexor here. And then side bend and reach and push back for hamstring. Nice flat back. Foot is flexed, and then back up again. Quad, pelvic tilt under, and lean forward for hip flexor, and lean and reach. Push back. Hamstring. We'll do that one more time. So, quad, pelvic tilt under, press that hip forwards, then lean forwards, and fingers down, and the other arm reaching over. Nice big stretch. Push back for the hamstring. And then we'll do some stretches for the calves, anterior tibialis in here, the front, the shin. So bending the knee, and basically you want to bring your toes towards your knee and your knee towards your toes, so dorsiflexion. It's really good for the back, the ankle as well. Then straightening the leg and pushing the heel into the ground for big calf or gastrocnemius muscle stretches here, and then just alternating between the two. It's important to have a lot of mobility, range of motion in your ankle joints. They play a big role. Things don't track properly over the ankles and the knees and the hips can go out of alignment, and then you get some issues with your other larger joints. So it's important that they are healthy. So switching sides, again, trying to get your knee straight, tracking right over the middle of the foot and pressing towards the toes as your heel is pressed into the floor, and straightening the leg and stretching out the back calf, and then just alternating between those two stretches. And then we'll get down and just do a little bit on the mat on all fours, just to open up our spine a bit more, get some more mobility there, and just a little bit of prep for our push-ups. All right, so you can just leave that to the side. So just going to have our Elbows, shoulders and wrists in line, and our knees and hips at 90, or straight down, and the hip at 90. We're going to drop our belly and lift our head and chest towards the ceiling, so cat-cow, right? Breathing out, breathing in, curl the spine, round the back, and look up your belly button. And really exaggerate this. Every vertebrae. Breathing in, breathing out. You want a bit more for your lower back. You can even press back here and stretch in between for a little bit of a stretch here in your lower back and your QL. And then reaching towards the ceiling, sternum towards the ground, and then rounding your upper back, mid back, lower back, and your seat bones towards your heels. And then let's sit back into a nice child's pose for a second, just to stretch out your lats, obliques, shoulder, just going side to side. Nice big stretches. Don't hold it too long right now. It's more of a dynamic stretch, of course, because we're still warming up. Afterwards, you can do a nice long hold after the workout. Okay, good. Now, for your scapular, in order to prep for the push-ups, you can do this by doing a scapular push-up. So you're basically just letting your chest fall and then pressing your hands into the floor and kind of rounding the upper back a bit, and then pressing down and rounding. So pressing down, squeezing the shoulder blades together, pressing hands into the floor, rounding the upper back and spreading those shoulder blades apart. Warming that up. When you're doing your push-up, of course, you don't want to let your chest fall because you're lowering as one unit. This is good to engage the scapular, to feel that strength. So when you're actually doing your push-ups, remember, you want to feel it here in your scapular, right? And mid traps, rhomboids, serratus anterior that wraps around the ribs. You want to feel it in your big muscles here, not your anterior deltoid in the front here, and hopefully not your upper traps. You don't want the strain going there, and you want to distribute the load so that your whole body is taking the weight of the moving plank, the push-up, and not just the shoulders. So you distribute the load by making the whole body tense and pressing your heels towards the opposite wall, pressing your hands into the floor, making sure that you have the right setup. So you have your wrists, elbows, and shoulders in line. You're on your all fours. You slide one leg back. You slide the other leg back, pressing into the floor. You can see how my shoulder blades have separated a little bit, and my upper back is a little rounded. My heels are pressing towards the opposite wall. My glutes are tight. My belly button's pulled in. And then we lower as one unit, not letting the chest drop first. And if this is too much and you can't get that alignment proper, and you feel like you're dipping your chest first, I would stay on the knees and do your push-ups from your knees. Or if you're having even difficulty with that, I would get a platform, elevate and put your hands on the platform and start with that. You can also do it off the wall so that you know when you're going down. If this was the floor, your alignment would basically be, your shoulders would be here, everything would be in line, and imagine that's the floor, and then you're bending your elbows And you're going down as one unit. You're not dipping your chest like this. That's a big no-no, because your rib cage and your shoulders are connected, and you want it to be one smooth movement as a connected unit. All right, so a little bit of light kettlebell weight warm up now that we've sort of practiced the push-ups, and hopefully we've got the right movement pattern down when we're engaging the proper muscles. We're just going to do some halos. So pelvic tilt under, glutes are tight, belly button's pulled in. We're gonna breathe in, breathe out. Big sweeps. Try and touch your shoulder blades with the bell, lightly brushing. Looking straight ahead. Start practicing the proper breathing pattern. So when you're exerting, you breathe out when you're exerting that effort, right? Big sweeps. Let's do 2 more in each direction. 1, last 1 in each direction. Now we're going to do some good mornings, and that's to practice our hip hinge movement pattern, which is essential to a swing. So hip hinge is you're basically creasing at the hip, bum back first, not knees forward first, because that would be a squat. So feet are hip distance apart, and you're going to do belly button pulled in, glutes are tight, bum back first, and nice flat back. You're going to feel a pull in your hamstrings here, and breathing out to come up. Breathing in to lower, breathing out to come up. Notice how my head and my neck are like very straight. Imagine a dowel from the head, middle of the shoulder blades to the tailbone here, all nice and straight. You're not cranking your head like this, and you're not dipping it and tucking your chin. You're keeping everything nice and straight, nice and aligned. One more. Good. Roll that off carefully. We'll do some around the body for awareness, proprioception, right? So feet together, glutes are tight, belly button's pulled in. You want to brace that core for the work. Even though this is a lightweight, you need to train it to be prepared, to be tense, to be, all nice and strong for any work. Not just lightweight, but any kind of weight. And then it'll automatically kick in, reverse. Hopefully when you're picking anything up, not just kettlebells, and just sort of translate into everyday activities. Teach yourself, belly button pulled in, glutes are tight, core is nice and firm and tight and prepared, and ready to take the load. Okay, placing the bell down carefully using your legs. We're going to pick up a little slightly heavier kettlebell. We're just going to warm up our obliques a bit more. So you're going to do some side flexion and extension, just using your obliques, hopefully lats a little bit, just to lower with control, breathing in, breathing out. So again, belly button's pulled in, glutes are tight, core's turned on, right? Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, looking straight ahead, breathing in, breathing out, shoulders away from the ears, chest out, and the other side. So hip distance apart with your feet, nice tall stance, glutes are tight, belly button's pulled in, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Lower the bell, use your obliques lats to pull it up. Shoulders away from the ears. And last one. All right, good. So I'm just going to place this kettlebell away. You have to be careful because you don't want anything in the way when you're working out. Otherwise you could potentially trip over it and hurt yourself. You need to clear your space. So if you're using one kettlebell today, that's what we're going to be having in front of us, as well as our timer, which I have set up, a towel, something to drink, and I guess we don't really need this, not that we're going to necessarily trip over it, but still we'll get it out of the way. So today I'll be using a 16 kilo for my swings. This should be interesting. I've got a couple of pillows for underneath those little clouds there, for underneath my wrists, just to take a little bit of the tension off for the push-ups. You do your best. If you want to start on your knees for your push-ups and progress to on toes for a couple or the whole set of 10, be my guest, but use the proper muscles here, no pinching in the anterior deltoid, okay? Making sure everything's nice and primed, pressing the heels to the opposite wall, glutes are tight, belly button's pulled in. The same applies with your swings. They're going to be nice, and the core's going to be nice and tight and primed and ready for the work. So before we actually start the workout, I should actually do just a few little warm-up swings, just so that we can get the movement pattern again, and prepare for potentially a heavier weight if you have a heavier kettlebell. So we'll just do a few swings, two-handed, nothing fancy, and then we'll get started. Ready? 3, 2, 1, hike. So remember, hip hinge only at the last second when the bell is close to you. Weights in the heels. Shoulders away from the ears. Chest out. Breathing out at the top. Firm grip on the bell. I think that's 20. We'll keep going. Remember that dowel down the head, in between the shoulder blades and your tailbone, so that you have a nice straight head, neck. It's moving as one unit. When you're doing your hip hinge, snap the hips to bring the bell up. Use your lower body, glutes, core, quads, hammies. Everything's nice and tight. Let's do 5 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Park it safely. Use your legs and glutes. There. Okay, so for the reps, we're going to do 40 swings, and then we're going to do 10 push-ups. So if you're new to kettlebells, 40 swings is basically the tempo you would use for 1 minute. It'll usually last around 1 minute. And then you get the second minute, in this case, to do your 10 push-ups. You will have the rest of that minute as a break. But most likely, you will have very much a non-existent break between the first and second minute, because the first minute will be taken up with all swings. You don't have to start your second minute right away. If you need a bit of a break and take a rest, you can take a rest for a few seconds and then do your 10 push-ups, as long as you complete it within the second minute. Yeah, I think that's it. It's pretty simple format. And if you're getting really tired and your form is starting to suffer, I would recommend, of course, that you lower the weight. So your grip strength will be challenged. We can do a little bit of stretching out gently in between rounds. So I've got this counter with a 10-second countdown, and then we're going to start for the first minute of work, and then the second minute will also be announced. It's also a halfway mark. So I'm going to hopefully make, yeah, that's ready. So 9, 8, getting ready, hands on, 6,
halfway,
4,
3, 2, 1, work.
Big hike, snap the hips. Breathing out at the top. That's 20.
Halfway.
2, 3, 4. Nice backswing. 28, 29. That's 30. 10 more. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
2, 1, work.
All right, so set yourself up. Shoulders, elbow, wrist, in line. Heels pressing away to the opposite wall. Glutes are tight, cores pulled in. 10. Take a break. So 30 seconds.
Halfway.
So you have, if you're going to maintain this kind of tempo, you'll have basically a 30-second break in between. But probably as time goes by, you get more tired. You'll probably end up with a little less of a break. But that's all good.
3, 2, 1.
Big hike.
Work.
2. That's 20.
Halfway.
Shoulders away from the ears. Weights in the heels. Snap the hips. That's 30. Last 10. Breathing out at the top. 6. Last 5. 4. 3. 2. 1.
3,
Place it down carefully.
1. Work.
And 10 push-ups. Going it down is 1 unit. Everything is nice and tight. Primed for the work. All right.
Halfway.
Take a break when you need it. You don't have to start on the minute. You have another 18 seconds. So remember, glutes are tight, cores pulled in. Nice big hike to get the bell off the ground. Use your glutes. Use your quads and the hammies to control the bell.
2, 1. Work.
Halfway.
Halfway.
2, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. That's 30. 10 more. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last
3,
one.
2.
Park it
1.
safely.
Work.
Make sure you have the proper alignment. Get into your high plank. Press the hands into the floor. Glutes are tight. Belly button's pulled in. 8, 9, 10. There we go. Towel off in between. Grab a sip.
Halfway.
And if you want, you can stretch out. Oh, forearms. They might be getting tight. Grip strength will be taxed. Just put a little fan on. You have 9 seconds. Hands on. Big hike.
3, 2, 1. Work.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That's 20.
Halfway.
20. That's 30. 38, 39, last one. Mark it
3,
safely.
2, 1. Work.
Set yourself up. Shoulders in the back pocket. Lowering is 1 unit. Making sure you're not dipping your chest down and up again. You want to go down as 1 unit.
Halfway.
Use those tight glutes. Pull up your kneecaps to engage your quads. Press the heels to the back wall. Anything you can to prime the body for work. 10 seconds. Hands on.
3, 2, 1. Work.
Shoulders away from the ears. Weights in the heels. That's 20.
Halfway.
30. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one.
3, 2, 1.
Set yourself up. Nice proper alignment. And push up. 2, 3, 9 and 10. All right. Excellent job so far. We'll you're still feeling strong.
Halfway.
If your form starts to suffer, remember, take a bit more of a break in between each of the minute. Hydrate. Towel off. 15 seconds. 10 seconds. Stretch out those wrists and hands and fingers. Hands on.
3, 2, 1.
Hike.
Work.
That's 20.
Halfway.
That's 30. Eight, 9, and last one.
3, 2, 1. Work.
The more that you prime your body for work by distributing the load, making everything as tense as possible, the easier it will be
Halfway.
on your upper body. Because not all the pressure and the tension will go in your upper body, especially your shoulders. 15 seconds. Towel off, catch your breath. 7, hands on. Shoulders away from the
3,
ears.
2.
Weights in the heels.
Work.
Hike. Snap the hips. That's 20.
Halfway.
No water skiing. Stand up tall. 30. Glutes are tight. Core's pulled in. 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40.
3, 2, 1. Work.
Last one. Everything is nice and tight. Swings are, core's pulled in, glutes are tight. Snap the hips to propel that bell.
Halfway.
You're not muscling it up with your shoulders or your arms. They are there to hold the bell and control the bell, but not to muscle it up. 17 seconds, 15. The power comes from the explosive hip snap, glutes, core, hands on.
3, 2, 1.
Hike.
Work.
And 20.
Halfway.
And 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one. Park it safely.
3, 2, 1. Work.
And 10. Awesome job, everybody. We're doing really well. We're getting it done.
Halfway.
Remember, proper alignment, shoulders away from the ears, chest out, weights in the heels. 20 seconds. Snap the hips. Hip hinge only when the bell is close to you, not when it's way out here. Otherwise you're going to hurt your lower back. Hands on, shoulders away from the ears, chest out.
3, 2, 1.
Hike.
Work.
That's 20.
Halfway.
That's 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one.
3, 2, 1. Work.
Everything's primed. And 10. We got this. We're almost done. Good job. Keep it up. Make sure your form
Halfway.
is correct. No swinging back. I said no water skiing. We don't want anything back like that, leaning back. We want to stand tall to attention. 15 seconds because you want to keep it nice and strong. You don't want to lean back where your back, lower back is going to pay the price. Hands on.
3, 2,
Big hike.
1. Work.
Explode up. Snap the hips. Glutes are tight. Belly button's pulled in. Weights in the heels. Shoulders away from the ears. Chest out. Breathing out at the top. That's 20.
Halfway.
That's 30. 2, 3. Snap the hips. Weights in the heels. Cores pulled in. 8, 9. Last one. Place it down carefully.
3, 2, 1. Work.
And 10. Oh. Whew. My goodness. Counter's still going. We're 35 seconds and going. In the meantime,
Halfway.
if you're done, congratulations. That was a simple but not necessarily easy workout, especially if you're using a heavier weight, or if this is your working weight and you're not breathless like me. Maybe you should be going up in weight. 10 seconds and then the counter is done. As always, if you have any questions or anything, you can always post them
2,
in
1.
the description.
Finish.
Awesome job. Thank you so very much for joining me. Again, I'm Bev of Bev's Bells, and today's EMOM workout was 40 swings and 10 push-ups in the second minute. If you wanted to, you could even increase the number of push-ups, but 10 in a row for me when I'm doing 10 reps of that, or 10 rounds, is perfectly fine.